And we are live.
Not flour.
You're right,
Hark.
Flower is not alive.
Hark,
Sure.
what recaps from yonder window breaks?
Okay, you've
Just
lost all
leave
privileges.
at the end
I
of
don't
the
know what
sun.
privileges, but all of them.
So we were marching on our way to retake Dresden,
Yes.
and after curb stomping some poor tieflings, we found the hobbitses trying to sneak demon blood into Social's bag. It was Social
Aaron's
or
bag.
Aaron's bag.
That is pretty much it, and it was one hell of a curb stomp. It was kind of embarrassing, really.
They were a
Filthy,
bunch of
nasty
tieflings.
hobbitses.
They were a bunch of tieflings who were reveling after taking out a bunch of much, even worse, bog standard humans.
Well, how fucking dare they rebel?
Did we find survivors?
I was going to be getting to that because it had been Lortan and Irabeth had gone off to search the nearby buildings, while the rest of you dealt with Nora's unexpected treachery. So,
It's too bad I
Yes.
don't have that one key power that lets me scan people's memories.
Yeah, like I said, the one time I roll up a character who didn't take blood biography on their spell list.
It always is that one time.
I mean, that is just how it works. You also did successfully quell any rumblings of discontent among your paladins to loot the tieflings. Because gear is gear.
Mm-hmm.
But first, Lortan. You go off with Irabeth, and most of the stone buildings on either side of the ford are empty or full of nothing but viscera, which is not very pleasant to deal with, but on the other hand, it's not your job to clean it up right now. But there is one building in which you do find a handful of wounded survivors of the contingent that once held the area.
A literal handful.
No.
Don't ask how they're surviving.
It's maybe 10 or 12 of them.
They're all so tiny.
They're not tiny.
You said a handful.
They're led by a sergeant in the army named Camilo Don.
It
And
means like, cloud giant handfuls.
yeah. And she, for the moment, speaks to Irabeth, just explaining about how they had more survivors, but some were taken away every few hours by the leader of the Tiefling army for sacrifice or worse. And what survivors are here are no longer in any shape to keep this fort protected.
Were these prisoners just guarded or chained or?
No, they were basically just left in this building because they knew if they went outside, they'd just be dove upon by the mass of tieflings.
All right. I presume from the way you've described that getting them out of the building, at least, freeing them is no issue.
Yes, no, they are essentially free as soon as you've defeated the tieflings.
Okay.
They are aware in a general sense of something very important to you, which is that a greater army lies somewhere to the north, in a place called Keeper's Canyon. You wouldn't happen to have knowledge of geography, would you?
I don't think any of us
I
have that.
do not, but if this place has any historical significance...
The place itself doesn't, but it's been very adjacent to things that do. You can roll it.
Also, how dare you? I have knowledge geography.
You
You
do?
can roll when you hear about it.
Yeah, I'm a ranger.
Yeah. Well, I guess you are.
No history. You think you have an idea of what they're talking about, but you're going to need to confer with the others before you can be certain.
Sure.
In the meantime, the sergeant in charge of these dozen survivors is currently volunteering to lead them back south and report that the fort has fallen to Queen Galfrey. Or you could try and convince them to travel with you if you so desire.
Hmm.
Do they have
That,
horses?
that is a decision that Lorton would defer to others. But in the meantime, let's send these lot towards the army and finish the check of the surroundings.
They head back to camp, and a further check of what stone buildings are left continues to find nothing but corpses, blood, and discarded weaponry.
What's the terrain immediately outside of the cross? Like, is this area at all lightly wooded, or is it just rocky land?
It's desolate is the best word for it. You're not into the blighted lands of the worldwound yet, but they're close enough now for things to be odd. There's no vegetation at all once you cross the river, and the sky seems darker than it should be, even for this time of day.
Okay. I'd like to at least take the opportunity to check for any signs of obvious groups of people, tracks of anyone leaving the area recently. But I don't think any of us over here on this expedition are specialized that way.
I don't believe so. Nura might, but she's not about to help you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Convinced that there's not going to be an ambush from this side of the river in the next 10 minutes, we'll return over to the camp.
Yes. Back in camp, there's nothing of immediate importance with your prisoner safely secured. Though the information of a greater army ahead has been passed on. So if anyone else would like to roll knowledge, history, or geography.
Why would it do that?
To advance the plot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Could have sworn someone else had no history.
I don't. I have no religion, but Arcana. Well, not really Arcana. Like a little bit of Arcana. But history now.
Okay, so the resident ranger didn't do too well at her knowledge geography roll, but combined with Lorton's well enough knowledge of the history of the area, you can narrow down exactly what they mean.
At the
Is-
natural ambush location on the other side of the fort?
No, the greater army they're talking about is actually a fair ways farther up the river.
Hmm.
Because Keeper's Canyon is the canyon that contains the Ahari riverbed.
Yeah. Okay, so the other place. Still, I'm pretty sure we were talking about how that was going to be a potential ambush location last time.
For anyone not paying attention, it's this one up here.
Oh.
Mhm. This is when we call the artillery to wipe out that fortification before we get there, right?
You wish. No, if you had artillery, this would be a much easier task.
Okay, first step, we need to get artillery.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting artillery.
Can we get a lot of wizards? They count.
You have paladins.
Fucking paladins. Retrain them.
You are not retraining paladins into
Specifically-
wizards.
Sorry, we need siege machines now? Why?
Because people
If
want
people-
artillery to make
I mean, I just want them. Do you have a problem with just having them?
They're
Specifically,
slow,
they're
obvious,
halfling
and usually
or
made
no
during a siege,
wizard.
not before.
All right, so when two people are talking, one person needs to stop
Mm-hmm.
because I understand what either of you just said.
Well, I was saying that what we need would be halfling or gnome wizards
Why?
to properly load into the catapults or cannons.
Oh my god.
Point stands. No, just no. If you wanted siege equipment, we'll make it when we get there, but you don't make it in the middle of the field and then drag it with you. That's just bad.
Oh, we could also use dwarf wizards.
Those don't exist.
Nobody launches a dwarf.
That's why you tie it up
Except-
first.
Except another dwarf.
Okay, so I need someone ready to mark down some information.
Not it.
Howdy.
Wonderful. Taya, roll me a d6. From the tieflings, you have gathered up 2 units of food and water.
Good.
Wow, not a lot of usable meat on them, huh?
And also from the tieflings, in scavenging their weapons, gear, and tools, you get 3 units of goods, with a capital G. These do nothing to help you in terms of army combat, but will be useful later.
For rebuilding Dresden or something?
Or for selling.
I would like it known that any food that we just find here in the field, there is no way in hell I'm not going over it with a fine-tooth comb and my orisons of purify food and drink.
How much does a fine-tooth comb cost in terms of gold?
2 silver pieces.
I mean, paladins can purify food and drink as well, can't they?
Once
If
they hit
they're
the
high-
casting level, maybe.
Yeah, these guys can't be that high level.
it might be. We don't know.
They're
Our-
Paladin 4. I think they only have a first level spell slot.
Yeah, they're paladin 4, so... I mean, they can do it.
And we
The
have,
pal-
what, 100 of them?
Do paladins even get orisons?
No?
No, but I believe they get purify
Yeah.
food and drink as a first level spell. And yes, you have 100 paladins.
So, have we been told about the survivors yet?
Yes.
Okay.
You may now discuss
What-
amongst yourselves if you'd like for them to go back to Canabras and alert people as to what's happened, or to travel with you as additions to the army.
We already did one sending. Can we do another?
That was from a scroll, so no.
And we're still
No.
waiting for its response.
Yes, there was no immediate response.
I think sending the people back alone is a horrible idea.
Yes.
On the other hand, how are they going to keep up without horses? Or even if we just march, it's still a problem.
I'm going to tell you, from a game mechanic standpoint, they're here to replenish your army's hit points if it had taken damage. You have not taken
But-
damage.
Yeah.
Do we
Okay,
like rub them
right.
on the paladins?
You are now a paladin. Go.
No, they just swap equipment and respec, and there we go.
Yes.
Do we sacrifice them to Sarenrae or no, Iomade, so that we have a stronger army?
That is not how Iomade.
God,
No,
well,
I
that's
don't
fine.
know.
Fulton says so.
Fulton is
Is
a peer.
Iomade?
Just
Is that
by
what it
Fulton. It's like sock puppet. I am okay with this.
Anyway, how are these people condition-wise?
Beat all the shit.
Probably hungry.
Yeah.
Well, we need to feed them. We have paladins. They can heal them for today. They can all touch them in tender spots.
Mm-hmm.
They are confident in their ability to get back to the city without issue. There's not very much behind you.
Yeah.
And we are
We had to
drawing
get this
attention.
far. We had to get this far to encounter an enemy.
Have we been that destructive as we go? Like, there's just nothing left.
God damn it.
Yes.
Here?
So yeah, unless there's armies hiding in the woods that have jumped out and passed by us, the lands behind us are probably safe enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is when they get eaten by like 5 wolves on the way back.
No,
We're also only 2 days out.
I'm just asking, what level are these people? Because they're level 1. A house cat can take them.
They're not level 1.
Yeah.
I'm guessing from extrapolating that these people could replace our losses. It sounds like it's about 8 level 4 paladins. They'll be
Well,
fine.
It is 12, they're not paladins. They basically replenish your army with some standard fighters, but you're still majority paladins, so nothing changes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Level
yeah,
4
if-
fighters, they're fine.
if there's people that can handle themselves, by all means, they can go.
Yeah.
If this is like a peasant with no shoes, then there's
No,
some problem.
these are trained soldiers.
Okay.
So the question is, do we want to send the prisoner with them?
I
I
believe.
feel like she'd
Ah,
slip. them
I'd
there.
say no.
I'd say no also.
Skull, you were saying something?
She'd slip them far too easily. I also say no.
We also haven't finished trying to interrogate her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what time of day is it? We came across these guys in early evening or noon?
Early
I think it
evening.
was midday.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It was noon
So,
when you found
yeah.
them. By the time this is finished, you're at
It's-
early
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah, no one's going anywhere till morning, anyways.
No, we just kick him out in the middle of the night.
Heh.
So you're going to keep the prisoner restrained and traveling with the army for now?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. I assume you're going to set up camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Probably.
just assuming the paladins already have a campsite, considering we have that map with all the tents on it.
There's a minor campsite. It's basically they've taken the tieflings' minor stuff and just started repurposing it.
We will make a major camp now.
Yes. Packing up some of the things the tieflings had, do you want to set up camp on this side of the river or the other side of the river?
We need to cross, so on the other side.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, crossing is just a matter of walking it, isn't it?
Yes, but we don't want someone in the night to take up residence on the other side of the frickin' river.
There's also 100 plus
I'd-
of us, so we can take watch and stuff.
Yeah, I'd actually go the exact opposite ruling, because
Mhm.
that there river, like, this is a ford. This is clearly the only place it's fordable within at least, 5 miles either direction, right?
So you're saying we could afford to stay there?
Haha. We should stay on this side, where we have a defensive ford and unexplored territory on the other side.
Mhm.
Alright, fair.
Known blighted territory on the other side.
And counterpoint: if an enemy army moves in position on that side, we have no way to cross, and unlike them, we actually need to cross. They can just.
But
sit
then
there.
we just attack them, or deal with them some other way.
Mhm.
What you said.
That river will save our bacon if an army decides to come and get us while we're sleeping,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Fair.
Because if we have the fort to our backs, then it's going to be hard to run away.
Yeah,
Run
yeah,
away.
the point's correct, because when an army's sleeping, it's the most vulnerable time.
Mhm. We'll still keep watch because we have over 100 people that we can rotate in and out.
Yes, we will be keeping watch every night unless we're in a fortified city.
And even then, maybe.
Even then we will, because we'll be outside the city because they can't have 100 paladins dicking around in there.
I don't know.
You never know.
Without expensive recording equipment.
I'm sure 1d4 brothels has room for them.
I have to imagine since we have 100 paladins, we also have some people that are just there as well.
Yeah, we would have some camp followers.
Squires
Camp
and whatnot.
followers, squires, all that crap. So
Not that many, though. It's one of
No.
those things that scales logarithmically, not linearly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yes, I think we're okay to set up camp this side the river for the night.
Mhm.
I know I need at least 50 followers to make sure I have a nice bath every night.
Alright. Bedding down for the night, is there anything especially important people are intending to do before onto the next day and marching onwards?
We
I
ought to
wanna-
talk to the prisoner.
Yeah.
The prisoner is going to be passing out.
Fine.
Oh, can I help sedate her?
Why is she passing out suddenly?
I have gravity bow. I can sedate her.
Shush you. Why is she just passing out? I mean, yeah, it was a
But does
fight,
she want
but
to be sedated?
Two things. One, the prisoner is not really speaking to anyone yet. Two, she did get beat up, and even after healing, it's not that she's injured, it's that she's tired, and is just going to sleep because she's failed her mission and is feeling quite morose.
Oh, but I don't think we give a shit whether or not she's feeling good.
The point is she's going to go to sleep, and unless you want to physically assault her to wake her up again, there's not much to do about it.
We have water.
Yeah,
We will waterboard the prisoner.
oh my god. No.
Yes.
and if we
Oh.
let her sleep, perhaps she will be invincible towards a better mood in the morning.
Or she'll just escape during the night.
Oh, she's not going anywhere. Flower is right there.
Give us a minute.
They need a minute, like them, doesn't that?
Still.
Okay.
Just had a bit of a soda spill.
It happens.
Okay.
Go.
But in any case, morning will come without the prisoner escaping because you have plenty of guards on her.
Lewd.
You've got 100 paladins with nothing better to do than sharpen their swords and sleep right now.
Lewd.
And in the morning, nothing much has changed in your environment. No armies have snuck up on you.
That we can see. Maybe they're invisible.
Quickly, what do your L5 see?
Breakfast.
Sure.
Aaron has seemed very withdrawn since the events yesterday after Social sent the information on when he returned.
Let's chat with Buddy.
Buddy. You could be referring to one of two people with that, so...
Aaron, since you said he seems kind of down.
Yes, he's feeling kind of down because they were planning to take advantage of his drug problems.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would let him know that I'm not going to judge him for that. Everyone has their vices.
The entire army of Paladin gets up and goes, "No, we don't."
Most people's vices aren't shadow demon blood.
What's important is what you're doing now. You're stronger than that.
Aaron does seem to be... He's not happier. Not by a long shot, but he does seem to at least be pleased that someone is speaking with him.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Socio gives you looks of undying gratitude.
And he gets you the double thumbs up.
Finger guns.
Finger guns.
Well, I should probably go speak to the prisoner.
Yes, I assume you're going to cross the ford while... Excuse me, yawning.
Yes, we will cross the ford while yawning.
Yes,
Probably.
I assume you're going to cross the ford while Tazrak goes and speaks to the prisoner.
Sure.
No reason not to.
May I have a slight recommendation?
Hmm?
Take someone with high charisma.
Like the cat.
Like me.
Howdy.
I'm talking about the Oracle who's like major casting stat and all their points are in it.
I don't know. I have 19 charisma.
Do you really?
It's my major stat. That's my major. My major stats are wisdom and charisma. And that's what I got.
And do you have a plus 12 in diplomacy?
Yes,
Yes.
totally. 100%. I've got a plus like 30. Go. No, I don't. Come on.
We actually have a party with 2 diplomancers, so that's a thing.
Most of us are at least a
No.
little good at
Not me.
not a little. Most.
Let's see. What is my diplomacy? 0.
I did standoffish.
You broke even.
I profession herbalist.
That'll do.
Yeah, my charisma's at 0.
Better than the negatives.
Well, yeah, we weren't allowed to take negatives.
Hmm.
Lol.
In any case,
Regardless. Yeah.
the
I hear
prisoner...
horses.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was quoting a joke.
Okay.
I hear horses' heaves approaching.
The prisoner is mulishly silent for now. What would you like to try and talk to her about?
Wait, if she's a mule, give her a carrot.
Well, I quietly sit down next to her.
On a horse, I assume.
Yeah, I guess. If we're on the if we're moving and she's on a horse, I'm a horse next to her then. I let the silence sit a little bit before I just ask why.
She continues to be quiet for a fairly long pause. Would you addend your question at all throughout that pause?
I would let it sit for a good while, but eventually I would add a simple, like... I don't ask from the perspective of needing a reason to punish you. I ask because I want to know what drove you to such a decision.
Guessing that that's not going to get him very far from the resounding silence.
I want a diplomacy check, but if Lord Tom would like to interject, go right ahead.
Let's see if his strategy works, because Lorton was going to let him lead.
Diplomacy then, alright. Alright, I have a token I can use. Alright, I rolled.
She just scoffs at you for now.
We can't help you unless you speak.
Coming up on the other side of the prisoner from Tazrak, Lorton will call out. Ah, Tazrak! I was looking for you.
Huh? No, I'm here. What is the matter?
Oh, I was just hoping to share some scripture back and forth with you. These gentlemen all around may be strong at the sword, but their attention to scripture is strong, but their attention to history and to the rigors of scriptures. It would be nice to speak to another man of the cloth.
It'd be delightful to exchange information with you. I see no reason not to discuss such matters.
And
You'll pardon
Lorton
me if
wants to. Sorry.
Go on.
What I'd like to do is just trade stories back and forth about people who've been in similar. People who have done similar betrayal, but for good reasons, stories from my own scripture, and hope Tazrak picks up on it and shares some from his own. We're basically just sort of browbeating the prisoner with examples, stories that maybe will resonate with her, maybe will make her feel shamed enough into talking later.
Roll innuendo.
In your endo.
Yeah. That is actually a thing you would have to roll if that was the intent back in the day.
Professional oratory would be good too.
That is exact. Perform oratory and knowledge religion is what I am armed with here.
Okay,
Or
well,
knowledge
then I'd do
history,
it.
if you like.
Anything I should roll while we're back and forthing, or
Give me... Both of you, actually, on top of perform oratory and knowledge, religion, or history. Give me a sense motive.
Sure.
what order do you want that?
Give me your knowledge and perform if it applies first, and then sense motive.
Including me?
Including you, yes.
Alright, well, I don't have the perform, but I have the knowledge.
Those are nice numbers.
I've got some decent numbers.
Okay. Tazrak, you can catch on pretty quickly what Lorton's trying to do here. And it's not too hard to share from any number of different stories able to be told of people betraying others, but for good reason, and with tragic backstories and all this sorts of things that just come up in stories all the time. But you are both aware as this goes on that from the reaction Nura is having to some of these stories, namely the eye rolling, the occasional quiet scoff, her reason for betrayal is not at all a noble one. She is not someone who sees herself as someone doing the right thing for anyone through this. Whatever reason
That's
she
information.
has, whatever reason she has to betray you, it is the selfish one.
Okay.
And in the meantime, the army is traveling. And as you follow the river along the ever closer edge of the worldwound, you stop seeing trees. If you look across the river, you can still see the forest you came from, but as you're going along the road here, there's none on this side. The sky is darker than it should be, as Lorton's already noted, but it seems to be a constant at no matter what time of day it is. Even at noontime, when the sun is directly above you in the sky, you still have shadows below you on the ground. The scrub, sorry, not the scrub, words.
Do we need to get good?
Yes, thank you. The brush that you're occasionally having to trot over is becoming gray and mangled, and there are exposed roots twisting through the dirt, until those dirt roots just stop appearing, and everything seems dead.
Yummy.
Yeah, this is definitely Demon Land.
And onwards you go.
Desert dead or burnt land dead?
Neither. It's more like if someone had somehow taken the time to salt every piece of land just between Canabras and here.
Dry gray dirt.
Yes.
Okay.
Checking something. And as you go, you find that the easy roads you had leading up to the river before now are mostly gone. You're now having to move along the edge of the cliffs here. Having to stay close to the river means, well, there's a lot of narrow passageways that you're having to navigate with horses, which is always time-consuming.
It's turned into more of a river canyon.
Yes.
How steep the walls?
Very.
And rock or dirt?
Mostly rock.
So it is theoretically scalable.
Yes. But you do still have some paths ahead of you, just narrow.
We know that there's an army here somewhere.
Yes, Keeper's Canyon. Now that you're getting closer, you can pinpoint it in the road ahead.
Yeah, so we need to be careful and advance slowly. And have our rangers start going afield.
Here is Keeper's Canyon.
Or the mouth of it, anyway.
Yes, that is Keeper's Canyon. Keeper's Canyon is the mouth of the now dried up riverbed.
Gotcha. Is the cliff easily enough climbed that we can have a scout following alongside the army on the cliff top to keep an eye over the edge of it?
Not especially at the moment, mostly because the cliffs... It goes up one cliff, and then a very narrow passageway, and then another cliff going farther up. It's a long while before you reach flat surface again.
Okay, so we're talking like tiers of a painted desert type
Yes.
terrain. Okay. Hmm.
As you march, it comes to the point that a full day has passed, with nothing much to show for it beyond the progress of movement, and nothing much in terms of excitement either. Whether that's a good or a bad thing is up to you.
Progress is progress.
Okay, let's eat the prisoner.
So we should set up camp, preferably without fires, because we don't want to give any indication that we're here.
Aren't our paladins human? How are they going to see and watch?
That's a very good point.
Yeah, but
They
Yeah,
are
it's
very
not
much human.
It's not
Smoke
much
fires.
to be hidden if we can't see them either.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
but
much?
the light we gain to see someone compared to the light, the distance you can see that sort of light over open prairie and slash plains
Mhm.
is really far.
You're not in open
Mhm.
prairies, you're in a cliffside.
I thought you said that some of it's open.
You are on a cliffside, as I was just explaining to Tayo over the past couple minutes.
Yeah, what's the terrain on the other side of the river? Same?
Now it is the same, yes.
Okay.
You are descending into the riverbed.
So there's slices of canyon, one of which the river flows down, and others the river flowed down in a previous era.
Yes.
So, yeah, lines of sight aren't all that great, but the smoke will still be visible until the sun is fully set.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we could probably set campfires and cook fires, but maybe we want to wait until night has fully set first.
That's fine. Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Tazrak,
And me.
are you going to continue trying to speak to the prisoner when night falls?
Of course.
Are you going to change your approach any?
Well, I'm mostly going to extol how demons are A, untrustworthy, B, whatever benefit you may or may not think you get, they are very likely to turn around and burn you mostly for just giggles. They're not reliable, predictable, friendly, nor really worth anyone's time. No matter what thing you could possibly be given by them is not worth it, and not something they're actually going to give you.
So you're lecturing her.
More or less. Just sitting there.
She does not have any especially strong reaction to being lectured.
That's fine. I'm just sitting here chattering.
Besides the fact that she looks very, very bored.
And she's going to be bored to death because that's how this is going to go.
Anyone else have anything especially important they're going to do during the night?
How is the morale amongst the troops?
At the moment, it's alright. There are some rumblings of discontent, but they had a full day of marching with literally nothing happening, so that's to be expected.
I mean, nothing happening in hostile territory is good news, generally.
Yes, but nothing happening when they're dealing with semi-demon blasted land is... It's disconcerting, to say the least, especially when they're all holy enough to actually feel it.
Mm-hmm. We just need them to stay strong and stay vigilant.
At the moment, you don't actually need to do anything to keep that going. If anything were to go wrong, for example, then maybe. But nothing's gone wrong so far.
Lufin will make sure to eat with the troops.
Sure.
Mhm. Sing elven songs, things like that.
Reach elven songs. Because her performance is so bad.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Day breaks into a million pieces over the land.
No, the apocalypse!
The sky is falling!
Yes, welcome to the party, Chicken Little.
Yeah.
Clouds fall, everybody dies.
Can I raise the clouds as zombies?
No. It turns out that the clouds were actually cloud giants. And
So I
that
can.
recently
Alright.
happened.
So, the army packs up and moves forward. And as you approach Keeper's Canyon, you have information from those prisoners that there should be a larger army lying in wait here. Will you move forward to attempt to ambush them yourself?
Of course.
Ourselves meaning like the 5 of us?
No, the army.
This canyon that used to be a dried up riverbed, if I'm reading the map right.
It is a dried up riverbed, but yes.
Okay. Is that canyon on both sides of it? Is it just a shallow canyon? What is the height of the terrain here?
Just a moment.
Yeah, because your standard riverbed's not that deep.
Deep enough to be a problem, though, potentially.
Yes, but not usually enough to be called a canyon.
The height differences have lessened now that you've gotten here.
So this canyon probably maxes out at like 50 feet deep from the surrounding terrain at this end at best.
Maybe in the range of 40, but yeah.
Okay, so it's a low canyon.
You can
But-
get some information from your scouts specifically on what the area is like.
Can we get information from our scouts about where the fuck the enemy army is?
Well, first
I
off,
think that's one of the approaches he's asking for. Do we send scouts forward or do we
yeah.
advance en masse?
you could choose to send scouts specifically forward, but Anivia is going as a scout whether you send her or not. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking that it doesn't make sense for an army to go forward at all until they know where the enemy is.
Where's our end like final destination here? Because
Probably a plane
it's
crash.
not on the map. Thank you. Yes.
I was going to mention something
Somewhere
about
at the
box
end of
and
the
no
riverbed, I
items.
think.
it is down here. You have no marker because you are not close enough to know if anything is going to change your approach yet.
Gotcha.
I don't know, I'm...
Do we know from the map or from whatever our equivalent of local guides in these scouts is if that canyon is fordable or if we're going to have to go up it or on the far side of it the whole way, one way or the other?
I can get that to you in a moment. Just a second. Scott, you were saying something?
Oh, I'm just immediately suspect about this entire canyon route with an army supposedly unaware of us down it. That just screams trap to me.
Well, here's the thing. We completely obliterated that other army, so probably they didn't have a chance to send a message over here.
And we stopped their messenger from being able to tell them.
Stale demons can turn invisible, fly, and teleport. It pays to be paranoid.
Well, okay, fair, but we can only work with what we know and what we
Yeah.
can see.
Okay.
It's a safer bet that they don't know.
So Anivia returns with information on the area for you.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Keeper's Canyon was at one point actually a town. It was a holding of Dresden that was used to facilitate shipments to and from it off the riverside. Nowadays, there's just a few shells of stone buildings and a half dozen leaning pilings in the river from what was once an extensive maze of piers. And there does seem to be an army.
An army of what?
Well, that's the problem. It's not actually one army.
It's 2 armies.
Yes. There is a mass of tieflings milling about aimlessly with no current orders. Basically equivalent to the mass you've already fought before.
Let's use the word fought. We fought them kind of in quotes.
We steamrolled past an army similar to this construction. And the other?
And the other is something that Anemia was not able to get concrete details on, but there seems to be something more demonic scurrying about in the ruins of those buildings.
Sorry, buildings?
Yes.
I must have missed a word there.
Keeper's
Yeah.
Canyon
What
was
buildings?
once a town.
And
There
there's
we
ruins.
go. Okay.
So within this canyon, there's the ruin of a town, and there's squatty demons do.
Yep. So, yeah. Militia, maybe marauders, maybe raiders, not well organized, is the impression.
And some kind of demonic force.
And yeah, something more dire.
So
Oh, we have
cannon
a field
fodder
hall.
and the...
Well, I'm guessing we can't exactly circumnavigate that town and come at them from an unexpected direction, giving canyon.
We could try to lure them out. It would let them get organized, true, but we already know the Tieflings aren't a challenge. It's the other thing we're worried about.
If possible, it would be nice to get a preemptive strike on them.
Yeah, because if we can get a preemptive strike on the tieflings, they just cease to exist.
The trouble is, we could charge in there, take out the Tieflings, but then whatever it is they have in those, we don't even know, will immediately counterattack.
What level of ruin are we talking here? Are the buildings still standing and, like, intact enough to be used, just damaged? Or are we talking
shells.
waist-high rubble?
They are still buildings. It's just emptied out stone structures.
Okay.
There's no way our cavalry's getting through that.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. Cavalry is not strong in an urban environment. We don't want to fight them in there until we dismount.
We could charge in, hit the Tieflings hard. We don't have to wipe them out. Just hit them. Get that hit, and because we're presumably a great deal more mobile, pull out and see if they pursue.
I will tell you, on a mechanical sense, assaulting this sort of fortifications is difficult, but only turns out to be, in a numbers standpoint, a +2 bonus to an army's defense value.
Which, by the way, I took sharpshooter last time. That's my boon. Which gives us a +2 offense checks armies using fortifications.
Oh, well, look at that.
Hey.
So literally, we are equal.
Only in range attacks, though.
This boon has no effect if the army can't make range attacks. It doesn't say it's only in range attacks.
No, you're right. Fair enough.
As long as we have people that can shoot them, it evens the odds.
If you would like
That
to
is
sneak up
helping.
and assault these people as an ambush, you have the option to do so, or you may do something else.
Ambush.
We don't have any kind of siege artillery or anything for a siege, so ambush is our only real tactic.
It's not an ambush if we're the ones moving.
Well,
Okay, fair.
it's a sneak attack.
Lightning strike.
It's a raid.
It's
go.
basically blitzkrieg.
Blitzkrieg. And we could get artillery if we need it. It just takes
No,
time.
not in-
No, we
Magic.
can't. There's no trees.
Not on the timeline we've got, and not
Yeah.
without shrubbery.
Yeah, you have bushes.
Like, the best we could do right now is to get a lot of elastic rope and fling the prisoner at them. That is, like, the most we can do.
Or we could just say "me" very loudly.
Yeah, you can try that.
Regardless, I guess.
So, candidate plan to have something put forward. The army maybe separates a small group to guard supplies and prisoner here, the vast bulk of it, goes in and plans to wipe what they can and then retreat back out of the city to open terrain once they are not meeting any more resistance, or if they meet something too hard to hit. We
That's
plan
about
to
right.
assemble back here, say, by... What time of day is it now?
It is late morning.
I do have to ask. I don't think the Does the mechanics even allow for this sort of complexity? Isn't it mostly just run forward, hit them, then continue to roll until someone wins?
No,
I'm
there's a lot.
suggesting have... Go ahead.
The mechanics basically take into account the idea that you're going to have people separated off to guard supplies for the army and such as part of the combat.
Okay.
And it does
But
account for things like
Yeah.
deliberately maneuvering and all that.
Predominantly, I want to make sure there's a plan, because in the tight confines of those buildings, we're probably not going to be able to keep strong lines of communication, so we want a clear image to all of the groups, to the whole army, that if you can't find anyone else, or you hit something that you can't deal with, the plan is meet south of the city again. Like, reform south of the city.
I mean, that works fine.
For the record, you are not going to have a literal ambush in this sense. You will have the element of surprise on them, but you have no concealing terrain around you to actually launch an ambush.
Yeah, no, we're running at them as fast as we can, hoping they can't actually get things together in time.
So with that, I believe once Tao is back, since he has the army stats for the moment.
I had him copy them to me,
Oh, okay.
so I have them this month. However, they are slightly out of date on some minor things, because this is as of last session, but the only things that are out of date on are food and water, which isn't necessary for combat. And technically we hadn't written down... No, we have written down the sharpshooter. Wait, why do we have one unallocated boon?
Might have just been a miscommunication.
Mm.
Oh no, it's unallocated because I haven't won a second victory. I can have up to 3 with my soldier ranks, but you only get 1 per victory.
Either way, as soon as Tao returns, you have a battle to fight.
Back.
Marble.
Okay. Let's fight an army.
2
Alright.
armies.
2 armies.
5 armies.
So
That's a different thing.
I'm gonna guess that we just go after the tieflings first because they're in the open and we can take them out in one decisive strike.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well remove a threat we know.
And then we advance on the more
Whatever.
defended targets.
Whatever they are.
We're about to find out.
Yes. So, how this works when there's more than 2 armies on the field, which you'll learn what the other army actually is in a moment here, is whenever you're doing an offense check, you choose which enemy army you are attacking. So, you send your men forward, and your paladins go surging into the canyon towards the mass of tieflings, who all gather up their weapons and their wits as quickly as they can.
Uh-huh.
And behind them, from the ruins,
An army of Baylors.
Damn it.
that would be a problem.
Yeah.
No, it's an army of dretches.
Gross.
Are those the ones that made the sticking cloud before?
Maybe?
I'm just trying to
They're,
I think we
they're the
fought
little
Dredges before, right?
green, stumpy things.
We did find dredges before, and I think they did.
Oh, the Area 51 aliens. Got it.
They are the lowest of demons.
Essentially,
So
yes.
it's not as concerning.
It's still
not
a
as bad
problem.
as-
You're fighting 2 armies
Still-
at once.
Not
They
if
are
we get a
still
good
demons.
strike off the first time.
Let's put it this way: if we weren't paladins, they'd be a very major problem.
Yes, actually. Normally they would have the significant defense ability, but you have a paladin army that is armed with cold iron weapons.
And they can smite evil.
Yes.
Yeah, they're plowing right through that shit.
So, the tactics phase. Luthwen is, of course, the commander of this army for now.
So I'm gonna guess none of these people are not mounted. I'm guessing they're all not mounted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's say cavalry experts then.
Sure.
So that brings up our OM to plus 12 by default.
2 up from base.
Yes.
The enemy tiefling army will be...
Murdered?
God, I hope so.
They have no... they have no tactics to really use, so they'll be using a standard tactics loadout. While the dretches will be using relentless brutality, increasing their
Which
offense
traits?
by 4 and decreasing their defense by 4.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are on to the ranged phase. You are able to fire with your ranged weapons onto either the Tiefling army or the Dredge army.
We're going for tieflings first. If we can wipe them out, all the better. It's a D20 plus your OM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yow.
Good.
You took improved critical army, right?
Lol.
You could surge on it, lol.
I don't think we need to search on it.
I think
The
he probably
tieflings.
did.
The Tieflings will fall immediately under your withering hail of arrows.
Yeah.
However, the Dretches throw fireballs.
Well, fuck them.
We should have our one wizard counterspell them all, right?
What's your defense value?
DV 20.
You take a single
Aw.
point of damage.
Oh no!
Fireball
15 HP
slam.
remain.
Fireballs slam into your front rank of cavalry, and some of your paladins are unfortunately consumed in the blaze.
Nom 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 nom. Crunch crunch. With a squishy center.
And you close to the melee phase.
I'm gonna be leaving us on standard because I don't really want that. I don't want to deal less damage, but I don't want to take. They have a high DV right now.
No, they have a low DV right now.
Sorry, no, they have. Right. Sorry, I meant offense because
do.
they're relentless.
You could go for cautious.
I don't want to take the less damage dealt.
Okay.
So that's crit. If they can crit,
No, you just rolled max.
they should be able to crit.
And the dretches will swing back at you.
So you took Cleave Army, right?
Oh my goodness.
What's your army's total health?
HP max is 16, currently at 15 of.
You're
Unless
going
that's not how that works.
No, that is
Yeah,
one
sure,
damage
sure,
equals
that's-
1 HP. Yeah.
I mean, whether or not it's temporary or not.
No, it's not temporary. It is just flat HP lost for units killed.
So we lose another 6.
You lose another 6. But
Takes
you
us down to 9.
hit at 32. And considering the Dretch army has only 9 HP,
So it's dead.
yes,
Yes.
you cleave through the Dretches, but they tend to explode on being cleaved through, and they do take more of your paladins down with them. Assaulting those buildings makes it difficult. Their commander, some kind of demonic figure in a long robe and hood, does manage to teleport away before anyone can close on him.
But he's already wearing clothes.
Ha. Well, now they know.
Mm-hmm. So we should be cautious moving forward. Dresden will be moving around. Not the city, but the people in it.
But, once again, in a single round, because Battle Between's armies are decided quickly, you've won. Congratulations.
Yeet.
Hooray. Now, there is a way for our guys to mend some of that hit point damage, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Each day the army spends at rest heals number of hit points equal to its ACR.
because it is not assumed that your units are... You have casualties. They are not necessarily dead.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yes.
Whether or not I need to keep track of the max of the 16 HP we had.
Yes, you should keep track of what your max is, yes.
Okay, carry on.
But congratulations, you have won another battle. And thus...
You do the rolling stuff?
Yes.
Is there no modifier for the margin of victory? Because we kind of like trash them.
Even a mighty army completely obliterating a foe can take losses that are difficult to replace.
Sure, but that's not what I was talking about.
Luthwen,
Hmm?
please give me a will save.
No!
Get a commander, it's your job, go.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Surge?
Dice are balanced.
Yeah, can I surge on this?
Sure.
16's a lot better.
Yes, it is. Sorry, a lot of numbers. Mass combat rules is, you know. Ah, right, that's how you do it. Okay. You barely met the requirement
For what?
for passing.
Passing what part?
This is your morale test afterwards.
Okay. So they don't like me. Got it.
Your army has its morale increased by 1, which brings
Plus
your
1 to 2.
Hooray! You have a maximum of morale plus 4, for the record. And your army learns a new tactic.
Sweet.
Orbital bombardment should be the one we learn.
I agree.
Yes,
Remember
well,
to-
invent space travel first.
Remember to familiarize yourself with what tactics you already have.
Standard, expert flankers, cavalry experts, withdraw, and spellbreaker. Spellbreaker granted by Adavashniel.
So we could have counterspelled all those things.
Oh, I apologize very much.
Hmm?
Please increase your health by 4.
Okay.
Like max health or
No, you're correct.
Restored to 13. What's up?
Because spellbreaking. Oh, I'm sorry.
we have to have activated that tactic.
Ah,
Yeah, I did not. So I didn't know that they could throw fireballs. So
yeah, sorry. Revert that. That's not a passive.
Reverted to 9. I'm guessing it reduces the maximum damage to 1 or
it
something?
increases DV by 4 against armies with spellcasting.
Which is
Particularly
quite
useful
helpful.
against demons, which pretty much always have it.
Yes. So yes, you get a tactic. There's only so many, so it shouldn't take you too long to decide.
Stretches don't even have fireball.
I assume they were just throwing their poo at us.
They also had a leader.
Hmm. So 1 fireball from 1 guy is the army's attack?
No.
I want to take false retreat.
Sure.
Logged.
Please give me another will save.
God damn it.
Surge!
Charge order.
Once again, you have barely met the requirement.
Yay, Surge!
3 mythic power left for the day.
You learn a new boon.
Yay.
What would you like?
Learn a new boon or gain another slot, because she had 1 empty unallocated boon available.
I believe I think, isn't an allocated one the one I'm basically learning now?
Yes.
Because you have to win a victory, I think, to be able to gain another boon.
That's what I mean. Are you gaining a new unallocated slot, or are you populating that slot?
She's populated that slot, because I believe the slots are established by your ranks in profession soldier.
Yeah, you
Or one of the alternative things.
You only get so many.
Your existing boons are sharpshooter and mythic.
Clearly merciless.
This is tough because we've been completing combat so quickly that we haven't actually seen morale come into play,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm unsure of how important it is.
Pretty darn important.
Yep.
It is the defining factor of whether or not we will stay and fight or break and lose on the spot. It also tends to have very small numbers to work with and can be very reliant on luck if you're not extremely skilled at, well,
Well, if I take loyalty, we double what we have.
that is an extremely good choice.
Do you have leadership 6?
Leadership stick is based off our level.
Yes, it's your
I-
character
we're-
level plus charisma modifier. So
Right, we're level
6.
6.
Mm-hmm.
So
They
you
made
could-
sure that we had an army that we could get everything we wanted.
Or at least most of it.
I would suggest loyalty, doubling our value to the.
Yeah, it's
force.
between that and defensive tactics, and I'd rather have loyalty, I think. Triage looks good until you really have to take a turn to fuck up combat for that. And that kind of that's rough.
Well then, you are up to +4 morale then.
Is that just a one-time thing, or
No, it is a permanent +2 bonus on all morale checks.
As long as I'm
plus
leading the
2.
army, whatever army it is.
Gotcha.
Once in leadership 12, it increases to +4.
So, I assume you're going to send your army to scavenge the field of battle.
Of course.
Someone roll a d6.
Lortan, roll the 6. I like that roll.
You have scavenged 6 units of food and water.
You should search, lol.
And you have also scavenged
It's not a
2 units
D20.
of goods.
How many?
2.
2.
We're now at 19 days supply and 5 goods.
That sounds good.
So
Are you going to do anything else today, or let your troops rest after the casualties
Yeah.
you've taken?
No, they need to fucking rest.
and we're also in quote unquote fortifications. So
Yes, you are.
Yeah, this is the time to recover. Speaking of, what are the rules for recovery?
stab them with a healing shiv.
Heals a number of hit points equal to its ACR.
Which
And
is
then I can
4.
attempt a loyalty check against the kingdom's control DC.
Oh, actually, give me one moment. Right, your ACR is 3.
Yes.
Is that written down on our sheet there, Tayo?
It is. Very first
Oh, there.
line, actually.
There it is, yes. By the way, at the end of session, please send me the updated version.
Will do.
In this circumstance, it's not a full day your army's going to get to rest, but you can still make a loyalty check at the end of the day. Meanwhile, is anyone going to have anything to do in camp or in the surrounding area?
Talk to Nura again.
To Nuremberg?
Bendy bar.
I bet she plays Pudge and Dota.
Pudge is a fish.
Oddly enough, even with the casualties taken in the battle, the paladins seem in better spirits about it. Now it's becoming clear that they are here to fight demons.
Mm-hmm. And just trashed another set of armies.
Yes.
Lufin will go around and tell everyone good job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I busied myself tending to the wounds and what have you.
Yep, same.
Also, is morale a D20 then plus that, or?
Mm-hmm.
So,
There, that's my roll for later on. The loyalty check.
oh, that's
Third?
fine. Go out. No, you're fine. Tayo, go ahead and add 3 HP to the army.
So it's at 12?
12, 75%.
You may want to spend an additional day here.
That's up to you. In the meantime, as the day goes on, I'm going to need statements from everyone on what their plans are.
Check on people again? Like sad paladin man? Is he still sad?
He's in better spirits now.
Literally, she's drunk. Haha!
Yes, actually.
Good.
A fair
Not
few
drunk
people
on
are
Drunk on
drunk,
distilled
honestly.
ectoplasm.
Also, bluntly, that's what Luthman's going to be doing. Assuming they have wine of some sort.
They do.
Yes, the blood of the tieflings.
I mean,
Are you,
there's a
are you telling us that the tieflings are Christ?
I mean, blood to wine.
That is not what purify food and drink is for.
That is exactly what it is for.
Purify this blood for me! Yay! Chug chug!
Oh, Varg and his endless casks of blood wine.
Hey, he remembered.
Yeah.
Ermengarde, what are you doing when you make camp?
Hugs and handshakes?
Okay. Luthwed, you're cavorting with the troops and getting drunk.
I will roll Constitution.
Not yet.
Damn it.
Tazrak, you're tending to the wounded? Skullhat?
Yes, I am. I said yeah, tending to
It
the
didn't
wounded.
come through.
Ah, sorry. I am tending to the wounded.
Lortan, what are you doing when you make camp?
He's also going to help tend to those injured, and he's also going to make a point of. I know that there's basically nobody here who isn't who doesn't pray to Iomade and Iomade alone, but he still wants to make clear that anyone willing to attend a service for other gods can join him. Can join him at wherever he sets up his tent for the an evening prayer.
Hey. Luthman doesn't really give a shit about Iomade. That being said, Kennethus is not really something many people know.
Honora,
He-
what are you doing?
Well, no. Bad doggy.
The doggy's eating steak. Let the doggy barf.
Okay, good doggy. But anyway. Well, I suppose, given certain, etc., etc., how to word this? I guess Honora might have decided to see if she could hang out with one or more of the prettier paladins.
Slut!
If things go smoothly, they might even hold hands.
No. Paladins are not that lewd. They have some morals.
This is true.
Too bad we actually have anti-paladins.
But you see, hand-holding is both lewd and pure at the same time.
Yeah,
They have
pure
it as a
evil.
class ability.
They will lay their hands on you. Backhand.
Hey!
Okay.
God, Tayo? Die. That one, no. No.
You're all
I would
terrible
not
people.
eat mushrooms growing here.
No. Also, what forest?
I wouldn't eat anything that comes out of this country.
Luthwen,
Oh no.
You're drinking some wine and very much enjoying the fact that you are leading an army to victory, which is not something you really expected to say a few days ago.
No, it's a happy change.
When there's the momentary pop of displaced air behind you.
Ah, fuck.
It's a tarp.
That is one accurate teleport.
Yes, it is. Because it happens to be greater teleport.
They've sent an assassin for the commander.
Everyone is surprised.
No,
Oh, no,
actually. This is the commander of the army of Dretches who teleported away.
Am I nearby?
Well, you want to like arm wrestle for
You,
like
you
a
are
second
on
shot?
the map, but he's getting a surprise round.
Round 2. This time it's personal. What's your plan, guy?
His plan is that he's a demon and wants to kill all of you.
Truly a master stroke of genius.
I mean, there's not much else to say here.
To be fair, popping next to the enemy commander and trying to kill them is not a bad idea anyway.
No, but chances are you're gonna get your ass stabbed for the effort. Yeah.
He was waiting until you'd set up camp and were properly distracted.
Well, I've got some plans for him as soon as he shows up. As soon as it's my turn.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got his turn, so let's see.
As soon as the more religiously knowledgeable types can see him, they'll have some rolls to make. But first off, he's just going to be trying to stab the elf.
I mean, he's one of my favorite bonuses, so I do get to look at things about him.
So currently he has a knife.
A knife.
He actually has a scimitar.
It's a big knife.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Both of his attacks will hit, and the second one will crit. But it doesn't confirm.
Hooray.
Too bad you can't surge your AC, huh?
What are you checking?
Yeah, that's just where she was before.
That is where she's being held, behind one of the large tents. She's restrained at the moment.
Okay.
Actually, since you do have favored enemy, could you give me knowledge, religion, or planes?
Planes, because I get bonuses on planes.
Go nuts.
What about the snakes?
Shush.
This is an incubus.
Hot.
No wonder he's wearing the robes.
What did you get?
Keep the cat away from him. She'll just jump his bones.
It's an incubus, so people are making jokes.
Just cast raise dead on his skeleton so it pops out of his body and instantly kills him.
That's the idea. There's a skeleton inside everyone.
Except for invertebrates.
No. They have a secret skeleton. Invisible.
Secret skeleton.
We probably should get a button for expending mythic power.
I've been looking into it. We'll have it at some point here in the future. Okay. You can recall 2 pieces of useful information. What would you like to know?
I actually forget the categories because I'm not usually the.
DR, resistances, immunities, special abilities.
Alex, I'll take DR for 1,000.
DR is a really good one.
It is DR 10, negated by cold iron or good.
Or is
Okay.
good.
You may want to then look into special abilities.
Yes, that would be the next one.
An Incubus has only one special ability. It's called Pain Redoubled. Whenever they confirm a critical hit with a melee weapon or a natural weapon, it deals an additional 2d6 points of non-lethal damage. And you must succeed at a DC 19 Fortitude save or be racked by pain.
Yeah,
Well, just
explains
reminds me. Damn it, where is that other book?
In the meantime, you did take damage here. So let's
Yes,
go.
I know, and that's actually important.
Okay.
Right, so I have Painful Reckoning. As an immediate action, whenever you take hit point damage dealt to you by a single creature, you expend one use of mythic power to convert 5 points to damage per tier to non-lethal damage. And for 1 minute thereafter, gain a luck bonus equal to 1/2 your tier on attack rolls and to AC, and a bonus equal to your mythic tier on damage rolls and intimidate checks against that opponent.
A lot of stuff.
So basically, I'm going to be taking 5 less damage because it's going to be non-lethal.
Sure.
And then I get a bunch of bonuses against this asshole.
Then in total, you've taken 8 damage. And now, roll initiative. The
Okay.
soldiers around you are all jumping to their feet, but you're going to be reacting faster than any of them because most of them have put their arms and armor aside. Because of this,
Oh,
Lorton, Tazrak, you have heard the commotion. You can also roll into initiative to come over and see if you would do so.
Alright, at the very least I would send Flower if nothing else, so we'll see.
And because of that, Flower is first to go.
Alright, he gestures to have Flower go see what the commotion is about, because of course he does.
Oh,
So
shoot.
Flower gets there, and that's Flower's turn.
Ermengarde.
Alright, so this is gonna be fun.
Oh
I
boy.
think I blanked for a bit there.
Oh, I'm sorry, the thoughts happened.
So,
okay.
first thing.
Hold on 1 second. Helena, roll initiative. Thank you. So I'm sorry, Honora has to go. And please engage your thoughts, Helena.
So we want to kill the shit out of this guy, right?
That is the ideal.
He bamfed in. Hey guys, what's happening? Oh right, murder! Stabbed.
And we are beyond the threshold where color spray is helpful.
I think I don't have color spray anymore.
Keep
Which
in
is
mind that
good.
he's a demon. He's got DR 10 versus Cold Iron are good. And they're usually immune to electricity.
That's DR bypassed.
Bypass by good, and mostly you're looking for good.
Good, bit of cold iron, anything that isn't directly, like, what's a good example? Lightning, lightning's good, usually.
No. He's a demon.
Lightning's always good.
And it's always good. What is
Demons
good?
are immune to electricity as a matter of course.
Yeah, like that's pretty common.
Oh,
All of them, I guess. Or stuff that just isn't a resistant-based thing at all, just like, you know, knockout gas and stuff like that. Like just
Fire's a good option.
really against demons.
Demons are also resistant to fire by matter of course.
That's true.
but resistant, not immune.
But yeah, you can still do damage.
Acid might be good.
Or you can, buff Ermengarde.
Yeah, and using spells that don't necessarily do damage are always.
Or she could disconnect.
That works too.
Whoops.
Helena, can you speak?
Potentially no.
Doesn't seem that way. Okay, until we hear back from her, I will handle it, I suppose.
I mean, I'd assume she can buff Ermengarde's by doubling her size.
Yes, we're just gonna go for a large person.
That would be fantastic.
Just double checking, it is a sorcerer level 1 spell.
Yes, it is.
Ermengarde is big.
Big.
It is Ermengarde's turn.
Alright, so I just need to check how the damage scales up again. The large monk, 2d8. Okay, so spending mythic power as a swift action to move. That'll work. And as a part of this, I can. Just gonna double check. It should be. Of course, I don't have that bookmarked. I should be able to add my tier to this attack, and it bypasses all damage reduction, but I would have bypassed it anyway. Yeah. So, let's see. Hey, just double check. What is my attack modifier on my Cestus? I can't read the macro, so.
I'll check in a moment. Is that... Okay, Helena was back for a second. She might be back again.
Let's see.
I hear you.
We just had you enlarge Ermengarde because it made sense.
Well, yeah, it does.
Also, Ian, you need to actually move her to where Ermengarde was. I think it isn't enlarge a touch spell.
No.
It's distant. You can do it whenever.
Oh. Was it another version that was a touch spell?
It's close range, but...
Whatever.
So,
currently your Cestus is just as your strength mod.
okay. It's a +1 weapon now, which is, +1 to attack and damage.
Yep, I'll put it in.
Because I've been doing it manually, I just wanted to just throw that out there now.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, making that attack. Oh, see,
That's an issue. What's going on there?
I don't know.
Odin, check your settings for
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Smileys.
Because
Yep.
this is a new one. Where is it? Edit preferences. And
Yeah, in the interactions tab, chat column, second item.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So can I just re-roll that? Or do you want me to?
I believe you're just
The
taking
the result is valid. It's just the text
Okay.
gets repeated a lot.
Okay, so yeah, 22. Does that hit his thing? Because if not, okay, good. That's all that matters. Oh, it actually should have been 23. I forgot a +1. But anyway, yeah. So that's that. He takes that damage, and then I get my standard. What?
Shouldn't the damage be different because you were big?
Oh, right. 2d8
Which is good because he has DR10 anyway.
plus my strength bonus is now is 1 higher, so should be like that. 18.
But I believe you have a way of going through DR.
This is a cold iron cestus anyway. But it would have ignored it even if he had DR I couldn't normally bypass.
You punch him in the noggin.
And now I get to take my standard action to attempt a grapple. And I'm just gonna check my sheet here. My grapple modifier is +8 over what I have. Yoink. Does that beat a CMD?
It does.
Then I take another move action to a move action to grapple and damage him, or grapple and pin him rather.
Sure.
Does 27 beat a CMD?
It does.
Okay, then he's pinned, and that's my turn.
Not actually end the fight.
Nope. But him being pinned is a significant penalty.
If, for example, he has teleport as a spell-like and not as a spell, he can still wriggle out of that.
I just want to double check. I'm pretty sure pinning stops both of those. I will check, don't worry.
I don't think it stops at will abilities.
That's why I'm looking.
In any case, Tazrak.
Well, I can probably see the giant stomping around and wrestling somebody, so I should probably go see what the hell that's about.
Yeah, Ermengarde's a bit noticeable now.
Alrighty, let's go. Well, that looks problematic. What am I gonna do about it? What am I gonna do about this? There's lots I can do at the same time. Oh, here's the fast way. Flower, Ermengarde, Luthwin, Ninor, enjoy murdering this thing.
Does it work on natural weapons?
Yeah, it works on any kind of weapon. The only rule is that it's only going to work if this thing's DR is 5 or less.
It's 10.
Well, I don't know that in character, so...
Okay. Fair point.
Logically, that's what he's going to do.
I believe that's your turn then?
Yes, that's my...
Motan.
What's this ruckus?
There's a giant Ermengarde, and a demon of some sort.
Egad.
That's what I said.
Egad!
You should have said there's a giant demon of some sort, and then an incubus.
Yeah, well, it looks vaguely Ermengarde-ish, so...
She's
Yeah,
screaming
you
about
can,
her
see
white
the,
hand.
you can see the waifu.
Yeah, see?
Now that he's pinned, there's actually very little I can do from this range.
Don't suppose you have
But-
dimensional anchor, do you?
Not at this level.
I think it's like 6.
Maybe next. Fourth,
dimension-
if you want the
Yeah.
sixth is dimensional lock, which is the area effect version. Yeah, everything I've got that I can do from this range is area effect, so I'm going to close and draw mace.
Hey, Ian? My token's obviously not been updated properly.
How's that?
My init's 9, and I rolled 9.
How did that happen?
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, the token thinks your init is 8.
It changes nothing, but man, that means I rolled a 1. Fuck!
Yep. And you're still in the middle of the field. With me, Lord +0.
Okay. Worldwound. You have been
Okey-dokey.
lightly stabbed.
Yeah, that's because the guy's a dick. Oh god, how many... I have enough, because I can use my weapon for more mythic. I'm going to fleet charge backwards, because that's a thing.
It is a thing.
And then I'll make a single range attack at my highest attack bonus. Now I have to keep track of what I got from Painful Reckoning. That's using cold iron. Because I have cold iron arrows, so fuck it, I'm gonna use them.
That will hit, and thus it will damage. You plant an arrow in his side.
I forget, does Pathfinder have a thing where you can accidentally hit your allies in a grapple?
No, you just miss.
And
Yeah.
I believe that was only a swift action for you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get to attack fully. Sorry, looking up mini shot. This is my first time really using it.
Yep.
So I guess I just roll one attack roll and then an extra hit if it hits. Gee, does that hit?
Yes.
Nah.
Man, I wish I had improved critical.
Don't you get that normally through your combat style?
I get it eventually. And no, not through the combat style. The combat style is honestly a lot of useless shit and a couple useful things. I need an extra attack roll. Second attack.
Okay. Another... No, wait, hold on a second. No, yeah, that'll hit because of the deficits from him being pinned. That
And
one...
the third one misses. Yeah.
Ermengarde,
Mm-hmm.
please give me a heal check.
Oh? That's not something I expected to do. 25.
You normally wouldn't be able to take the time to notice it in combat, but considering you're currently pinning him down, you are very aware that he is losing blood rapidly.
Oh. Can I say that now, or do I have to wait till my turn?
Wait for your turn for one reason.
Okay. because he might not be here.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Well, he does need to roll against 22 plus the spell level of the thing he's using.
Considering how high his concentration is, he's fine and disappears in a pop.
Concentration checks are stupid. They need to scale better.
Yeah, they do, but that's life.
It's an at-will ability of him, though, so it...
And with
Doesn't
that-
matter. Spell or spell-like, you still need to roll against it.
Yes, but he's going to spam it.
Yes, and with that, he is greater teleported away, and the paladins slowly lower their weapons again.
Well, we did hurt him. He was bleeding badly.
So can the paladins spare cold iron arrows now that I'm in the fucking camp with them?
Yes.
Good.
That would be wise.
Then I have 100 cold iron arrows.
Yeah, that's honestly fine.
Because seriously, like, no, you need to pay us. You're a commander. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And a few
Told
minutes
you.
later, Ermengarde shrinks again.
Told you, give me your ammo. All right, give me $10.
Pew, pew, pew.
Oh, that was unexpected.
It makes sense when you think about it, though.
I don't imagine he'll be trying again, though, for two reasons. One, it really didn't work. Two, if that creature has any kind of commander, he's failed twice now, and demons aren't particularly patient.
Nope.
You have some incubus blood now, if you'd like to do anything with that.
I mean,
Put it in a vial?
It sounds probably.
Yeah, it probably is pretty vile.
Ugh.
I'm gonna go back to tending the wounded. Lithwin, are you alright?
I could use a little healing.
Very well. Yeah, boo.
Not that I'm expecting that he will be back tonight, but I'm going to go around and make sure that nobody is sleeping in a group of less than 4, if no one objects.
Okay, wise
That's
decision.
fine.
Go ahead and heal yourself 8. I will keep watch over the wounded, I think, tonight. Someone should check on Nura.
I believe Lorton's ahead of you.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Lortan's volunteering to be included in prisoner watch tonight.
Ah, okay.
But otherwise, yeah, wants to make sure the men know that there is demon trickery afoot. Stay in close groups.
Word spreads quickly enough. Is anyone else going to go for any other kinds of excitement before getting rest and getting ready for moving on tomorrow?
I refuse to let him stop my drinking and cavorting.
And hey, now you've got a convenient hole for the alcohol to pour out of those kidneys.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, she just survived that as well. That's more room for happy times.
I'll just make a rounds through the camp, see how everyone's doing. Make sure morale didn't take a hit or anything.
The morale There are some grumblings, some worries, but nothing concrete, nothing you can address yet. Mainly because you haven't found anyone specifically complaining, you just occasionally come across someone mentioning people complaining.
Can I ask them about who they heard the complaints from?
They don't have an answer for you, they just say that they heard it from someone else, who heard it from someone else.
Well, I will ask them to try and keep an ear out for that kind of thing, because if it's something that we can address, then we would be happy to.
All the soldiers that you ask are perfectly happy to pass information along to anyone they'll come across.
Okay.
The night passes smoothly, thankfully enough. And you set out again in the morning without any further ado.
Really? Because I was considering having us rest again.
Oh, do you want to spend another day here?
This
To
is the most
top off the
defensible
army.
position we have, and people are hurt.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
that way we can also be in a good place to watch out for another ambush
Give me a
or
will save.
assassination attempt.
Will save. Right.
You are literally the worst commander.
I can add surge, but it doesn't matter.
You do not recover health today.
No, you recover health no matter what.
Uh,
Then you roll, you don't roll will, you roll loyalty check.
which is will.
Blah. But either way, if you take a day to rest, it's the bonus past that.
Ah,
That's the loyalty check. So we could have recovered 6 instead of recovering 3.
you should have recovered 6 yesterday then.
So we're topped off anyway?
So it sounds like we're topped off then.
Yes.
If we're also recovering 3 today, then yes, we're topped up.
Cool.
Are you going to do anything special with the day, or just spend a day letting people recover, practice, train, whatever they want to do?
Yes, but I strongly advise we still send out a web of scouts and don't leave the surrounding terrain uninspected.
That is exactly what we should do.
Mhm.
Anidia will come to you with concerns about that. Any scouts you send out should be kept very close to the army right now. You are approaching into the actual world wound.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we just want them to be a forward warning.
The problem
Maybe... Go ahead.
The problem with the world wound is not the idea that you may be attacked by demons or any such things. The problem with the world wound is that the dirt itself is infested with parasites and diseases, and the weather can change at the drop of a hat from being a calm, bleak day to a storm that rains blood from the sky.
So they don't go there. They can scout everywhere except that and along the edges.
The world wound is all that's ahead of you right now.
They can still scout behind us and to the sides.
Okay, if you want to send out a scout behind you, fine. But,
I just want them to watch for stragglers that may have somehow not been with the army.
okay, they can check back along the riverbed.
And the canyon ahead remains a visible, like, landmark, right?
Yes. You're not going to lose your way at any point during this as long as you stay close to the riverbed.
Then I think we should at least want to send like like 2 or 3 scouts as a group, at least an hour's ride down that canyon to keep an eye for anything approaching from that direction.
As long as that doesn't... Does that suddenly count as the whirlwound?
It is traveling into the worldwound. There will be dangers involved.
But the danger is going to be faced by the whole army eventually.
Yes.
It's whether or not the extra people from the whole army could mitigate that danger compared to small groups being wiped out.
The
Let's say all of a
alternative...
sudden, magic quicksand, people could pull people out, but...
Yeah. The alternative is to have nothing but the horizon we can see from here, and...
To be fair, you can see a fair distance down the riverbed.
I think we actually just hold back on this because just the magical nature of it being able to change kind of whenever means that some scout into that area isn't a lot of information.
Alrighty. Then we hold everyone here except a few people we can send back to watch the relatively safe river.
And the day passes without incident. And I assume on the morrow, you set into the worldwound.
Indeed. Has anyone been able to beat anything out of Nura yet?
She's in sullen silence for the moment.
I'd like to ask her what she thinks of us defeating the army here and foiling the assassination attempt.
She has no comment. She doesn't particularly care about these demons.
Then who does she care about?
She will actually answer that with just a muttered, myself.
So, you joined up with the demons to save yourself. Is that correct?
She stares at you. Roll me sense motive.
1 second. I need to go... Oh, I actually have the skill window open. Good. Nope, it's on a different map, so I have to go back to the other map. 1 sec. Skills... Motive... That should work.
She did not join up with the demons to save herself.
So that's a no.
More staring and sullen silence.
Actually, this is a good use of our day when we're sitting around here. We need to have a discussion as a group how we're handling this person.
Mm-hmm. So you join the demons for yourself. And what was the question I just asked? I forgot.
If she'd done it to save herself.
But you didn't do it to save yourself. We know that the drug she was trying to give Aaron was from a demon's blood.
A shadow demon.
So that is probably who your superior is? A shadow demon that's waiting for us in Dresden?
Roll me another sense motive. That's a very obvious twitch.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, I log in to watch the stream.
I think at this point, Honora will start to nudge her horse towards getting closer.
Why are you on a horse?
Because fuck you, horses are awesome!
We're in camp. We haven't gone anywhere. Why are you on a horse?
If we
Because
defeat...
the tickets are now diamonds.
Because she's going bareback riding.
Tickets
Nice.
your favorite thing. But anyway, so if we defeat this
yeah.
demon, will you join our cause fully?
She just laughs at that.
So you want us to use actions, not words, to sway you?
After a moment, she will actually speak for the first time in a while. I already know mortals aren't any better than demons. It really doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, then why have you done all these things?
for the challenge?
You're a historian, right?
She seems uncertain of whether to actually answer that.
It's a rhetorical question, the Queen told us.
The Queen thinks I'm a historian.
Well, even if you're only playing the part, don't you think it would be more interesting to follow the tales of the heroes who dive into the worldwound and emerge victorious?
Or you'll die like the rest of those heroes.
The rest of those heroes did not have the full power of the wardstones channeled into our bodies. Did your master not tell you about that?
That is the entire reason I am here.
Then we will show you how strong we are. Maybe then you will be willing to follow us.
She laughs at you again and goes back to silence.
We had a paladin just do detect evil on her yet?
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
we've had...
She pings evil.
I mean, I don't really know how this redemption story is possible.
I will remind you
We have to give her a chance.
There are actual rules for redemption.
Hmm.
I could redeem her with my with my greatsword. I'm sure she'll be judged appropriately.
That is the last result.
In any case, the following day you will set out into the worldwound itself. And at some point as you travel down the riverbed, the sky has turned dark.
Well, this seems fun.
Well, if it starts raining, we're just going to keep moving.
The clouds above you are black and red. The sky, it's dark in an odd way. It's still blue. You can look at it, but the blue seems to be turning gray the farther you walk. Because
Yeah, that's
horses
not normal.
don't always fit here.
Well, if horses don't fit, then
To
where are we
march
march
alongside the entire army. Which means some people are walking as you trot the horses along until it widens out again, and so on and so forth. On the plus side, you haven't run into any supernatural storms or the like thus far, though you have seen one cloud moving above you over the riverbed momentarily drop crystalline locusts onto the cliffs above.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, that's completely normal. I had it all the time back where I lived.
Wasn't one of the demon lords we were against something about insects?
Yes,
Keep the pace.
Discari is the demon lord of infestation and locusts, and is also known as the Lord of the Locust Host.
Good.
As you go along, your men start reporting stepping on hard, crunching objects buried in the dirt. And on further inspection, they're frozen eyeballs.
Lovely.
Well, we found dinner.
You don't recognize what these eyeballs are from, because they're too large to be human.
How large is too large?
About your fist.
I'm the guy.
More than a mouthful.
I see if I can pick up about 3 of them. And
I hit
compare
you.
sizes. What?
Leave them on the ground.
There's like a 50% chance they're cursed and a 100% chance they're at least really not good for your hands.
This riverbed does force your army to move slower. Your movement rate is halved for right now, only covering 18 miles a day rather than 36. On the plus side, your army is mostly composed of fearless paladins, so they aren't too shaken by these events.
Just stirred.
However, Urban Guard,
However,
some of the men you talked to yesterday come to you, saying they found the source of some of this discontent. There's a man in the army, a well-respected paladin, named Arles Gestander.
Pretentious as fuck.
He's probably an elf.
His name may be, but he's a grizzled veteran of several conflicts in the worldwound. He's most likely one of the most skilled paladins in your army, beyond, say, Erebeth.
why then would he be so concerned?
He seems to think your task is hopeless for some reason. This is just what the men tell you, of course.
I will rally the others and pass on this knowledge. And I thank the people that brought it to me.
Hopeless. We've won at least two fairly decent engagements. One's against demons themselves properly, and there is a goal to this outside of just slaying thing. And
That is not how hope works, little one.
For the moment,
I am not much familiar with hope, only comforts. So let's see if we can comfort this man.
Out of character, until you do something about it, your army is taking a -2 penalty on morale checks.
Right. In regard, bring him to myself and Lorton, please.
Should you be sitting on a throne and waving a sword about while we do so?
You should be slouching on a throne. Thrones are for slouching.
With a half-full glass of wine.
I also hope I don't have to tell you that executing this man is a bad idea.
No shit.
Of course.
Facetious, anyway.
Just making sure.
Words first. Arrows later.
I use my great sword for executing, thank you.
Oh, just nail someone on the head? Alright.
That's not a good execution, you know?
I don't know, there's something iconic about an elf putting their boot on your face and firing an arrow into it.
No, you're gonna do that, it gotta be the neck. It's gotta be the neck.
Also, you're thinking Grand Forest 5.
Yeah. Nah.
Arles can be brought to you fairly quickly. He's a broad-shouldered man, large chin, scars across one cheek in multiple directions. They have the taint of a demon's claws from long ago. Short-cut hair, large nose has been broken quite a few times. All in all, he's the sort of man that you'd expect to not give a damn about the possibility of success or not if he got the chance to fight demons, and yet, here he is.
That is actually what I was going to open the conversation with. That he seems like the sort of man to not give a damn. And
you should probably be a little more circumspect, at least in saying hello to him first.
Yes, of course. So, actually, let me start with like a sense motive, just to see what his general affect is like.
Sure. And also, Luthwen.
Okay, yes.
He doesn't have an aura like most of your paladins do.
No magic at all.
He doesn't
So he's
have
an
the
ex-paladin.
paladin aura.
He's lost his faith.
Well, seems like a job for the men of faith we have in the group.
And I have to be here because I'm the commander, and that will help.
He does kneel before you momentarily before standing again.
Well met, sir. The men tell me you have many concerns?
be putting it mildly.
Please, allow me to hear them.
I mean none of you disrespect with this. You have done great deeds in Canabras from all I have heard. But none of you are commanders of an army. None of you are veterans of this. I hesitate to call it a war at this point. Our task is one that could be accomplished only with thousands more than we have here, and only under a commander that could actually lead us. You have done well in the battles we've had, but they are nothing compared to what the demons will bring to bear.
Of that, I do know.
I do not think our intent was ever to beat the demons through a force of sheer arms and might, but to hit them in, what is the term? More of an elite strike. We head in, handle a certain matter, and leave. Damage them in a way that isn't simply beating them into the earth through numbers.
Sorry, 1 second. Odin?
Yes?
You're transmitting a lot of clicks and taps.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Tesseract, while I do understand your sentiment and thank you, he has one point. And he's not aware of how long this conflict has been in my blood. I was born in these lands, sir. My family has been fighting them my entire life. While yes, I have not been a commander of this army long, I have been fighting this war longer than I dare remember.
And I'm sure you make a wonderful soldier. We are going to Saunton Vane. And with the men we have here, under this leadership, we will meet Staunton Vane on the field of battle, and we will all die for it.
Do you doubt our abilities so much that you think we would send you to battle as you are, with no support and no way to fight? No chance of escape or any thought to your lives?
What I doubt is the capability of 100 men to go up against the entire city of Dresden as controlled by demons.
The city will have other concerns.
If we were but only 100 men, perhaps you'd be correct.
Have you another army following behind us?
We have the goddess's eye, sir. She's spoken to us herself.
He has no immediate response to this.
Lorton steps forward, and I'm reckoning that this guy will probably recognize it. Lorton casts Abadar's truth-telling on himself.
Okay.
Zone of truth, but it's touch range, basically.
Yeah, Zone of Truth, but in your hand.
And will repeat the assertion. We may not have been fighting this battle as long as a man like you has not deserved to, has not been troubled to. But we have been sent here by higher powers, and we have good reason to believe that this 100 men can make a real difference. We do not ask you to have faith in our command. We ask you to have faith.
And when my faith has been troubled,
trying to come up with appropriate phrasing for Iomade. Nope, only Torag appropriate's coming to mind. Help.
Iomade?
Yeah, appropriate symbolism for Iomade. If it was Torag, it would be then requench yourself and ask your god's guidance to see you through the trial, or
Well, let's see. Iomade's a sword mistress. She's all about holy light, honorable combat, valorous deeds, holy fire,
Stabbing demons.
tenacity, optimism.
the ascension of normal men to something greater. Since Iomade was one of those few to pass the test of the Starstone, she started mortal.
yeah, I think that line follows. Okay. Then lay yourself before your god's judgment. You have been down this road before, surely many times. We ask you, be among these men who fight alongside you, and recognize their cause is yours.
If anyone else has something else to add, say it now. Arla's looks stricken for a moment. And then he bows his head. I will return to my tent, then pray.
Please, if you ever have any other concerns, I will be here. If I am able, I will speak with you.
And if your commanders do not have your faith, tell them, because they are mortal like yourself, and likely need a light forward, just like you may.
The scarred man nods and moves off slowly, clearly very involved in his own head. Congratulations, you bypassed the diplomacy check.
Hooray!
It might have actually been a difficult diplomacy check.
Oh,
Yeah, a good argument.
What's Lorton's modifier for diplomacy?
plus 12.
Yeah, you would have had to go better than average on it.
Oh, he also conserved it.
Hmm.
We are mythic for a reason.
And I've also got 2 rerolls a day on it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, not on diplomacy specifically, but yeah, carry on.
And the march continues.
One by one, hurrah, hurrah.
On the plus side, Ardos's grumbling seemed to have stopped for now. The army is not in particularly high spirits, but they're no longer in low spirits.
Mechanically, what does this mean?
Your morale check has gone away. You had a -2 morale, you no longer have that.
Okay, but it hasn't gone away, right? We still have a...
Your morale is back to normal, is what I'm saying.
Okay, back to our +2 we had before. Well, +4 now. Because me, yay!
Yes.
Well, +2, but you grant a +2 on the rolls.
Yes, you have +2 morale, and then you give a +2 to that so that you don't hit the limit for morale, basically.
Yeah.
As you continue on, you find yourselves climbing the cliffside, and eventually coming out on level surface again. And ahead of you, as your scouts report, as some of the clouds clear, you do get daylight, dull as its color is. There is a chapel perched on a cliff above the river below. Well, I say river, the trickles of a river. From this distance, you can't tell what it is, but someone has knowledge history, don't they?
Somewhere around here, I'm sure. Is it Odin?
Not me.
I mean, is this a geographical location?
No.
Why not?
Anyone with knowledge history, go nuts. Hey,
Would
you
knowledge
know some
religion not
things.
work?
Not for this specific circumstance. It'll work on other things in a minute. Namely, history lets you know that a year after Dresden was founded, and a year before the First Crusade ended, several paladins and priests built a number of chapels surrounding the new fortress city of Dresden, and each of them was devoted to a different deity of the Crusade. Namely, Iamade, Erastil, Torag, Sarenrae, Shelin, or Abadar. You know, deities that paladins would worship.
No love for Cetaphis. How dare they?
And they were intended to serve as hospitals for injured soldiers and way stations for travelers trying to make their way through the blasted hellscape that is the worldwound. This is one of them.
So halfway between a steeple church and a watchtower.
Yes.
Okay.
However, since Dresden's loss, they've fallen into ruin. And this is quite obvious from just the sight of it. It sits on a cliff 90 feet above the gorge below, and a narrow flight of stairs winds up the cliff face to the chapel that you will have to climb, if you wish to investigate it.
We ought. I could likely repair some of it if need be.
I say we have the army wait below and we investigate it ourselves.
Yes, the 5 of us should go.
Acceptable.
Small disambiguation before we do reach the top.
Mm-hmm.
Fallen into ruin or fallen into disrepair?
Ruin.
Okay.
So there's like no roof and there's barely any walls?
Not that bad off, but the roof is damaged, it's falling apart. It's clearly been attacked at some point.
Okay. Sometimes it's only a subtle difference, but
How far into the day are we when we find this?
It is coming up on nighttime when you arrive just outside the chapel, essentially.
Then they should start making camp while we're doing this.
You're going to go in at this time, or are you going to rest and go in the morning?
I say we go now.
yeah.
I don't see any reason we shouldn't go now.
We don't
Okay,
want to
okay.
waste time with the army. Let them rest. And
I'm
then we
also
can check this
thinking-
out now.
I'm also thinking if this is where we have to make camp, we do not want to camp near uninspected buildings.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Erebeth's in charge.
Also, Lost Chapel totally sounds like the name of a Diablo zone.
Yes, yes it does.
As you approach,
You hear fresh meat.
Aaron will also point out to you that, historically speaking, Chapels like this have often had well-hidden caches of healing magic and supplies.
Hello,
we should-
nurse.
And that's why you should investigate it.
And obviously they are well hidden because they're in the well.
We leave the cat behind.
Social adds for his part that it would be a nice gesture to climb up there and clean it up a bit and run off any monsters that might be befouling the place.
Yes, once we
Abs-
investigate it too, we can also have other men that volunteer to come up here and help with repairs once we know it's safe.
I can actually get a fairly head start on the repairs with my coal, so yes.
I can make a hole too. It's called a firebomb.
Not how that works.
And
On
we're
the
going-
subject of hidden caches, though, I would check the altar, just because that's a natural place to hide things.
Well, yes, but let's get
Yeah,
there
we'll just use a
first.
sledgehammer.
Oh, for goodness.
we will handle your approaching the chapel next time.
Do we level?
No, you do
No.
I'm on a
not.
level.
You have not
Yeah.
leveled.
I'm on a level because that's when my wolf gets big enough for me to ride, then I can ride it around.
You have not leveled.
Damn it.
We level. Okay, thanks.
No,
Thanks, we leveled. Yay!
no, you
Yeah.
haven't leveled.
I gotta go get ready to do some things. I'll see y'all later.
Okay,
Yep. Bye
Go
bye.
do them well.
I'll try. Bye.
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 Goodbye, stream.